Let's get to Bailey Smith and the Geelong Footy Club. It was a great game. We'll get to Jimmy and Lordo at the Plasma shortly. But that man, he's, I think right now, the most talked about player in the competition, largely because of how well he's playing, but also because of a couple of these little incidents that are starting to filter in. And for the second game in a row, he's found himself in a little bit of hot water.
I love the fact that he threw the ball into Jarz's head and fired the crowd up.
Yeah, it was a bit of carry on. I know I shouldn't have done that, but mate, it's Easter Monday. I get fired up, so bit of a. I can't swear. So yeah, not a good act, but oh well, it's just all part of it. I love it. I get hit, cop it, so it's just good fun. So all in the spirit of the game.
Good fun. We love how honesty is. Probably wasn't the best look, given what happened, and then the little mini bird to the crowd on the way off seconds after that. How did you see it play out on and off the field for Bailey today?
It's a real fine line. He's been a wonderful recruit for the Geelong Footy Club this year. He's been the difference for them, and it's allowing Dangerfield to play forward. That's how good he's been with Max Holmes. But I've been critical of Mac Andrew, and I'm going to be critical of Mac Andrew again tonight. So there's a fine line with it. Cozzy Pickett's another one. They play on the edge. It's why they're so good. But you don't want to let it cross over the line and distract you and the rest of your team, don't
He'll clearly get fined for what he did to Jarman Impey there. I can't imagine it being too much of a financial impost, but they can't walk past that type of behaviour. I didn't have an issue with it, but it won't be tolerated.
Your thoughts as the Geelong legend at the desk?
No, pretty fair response from the two gentlemen. He'll probably get a please explain and a fine because we don't want to see that. But I just get the sense he's trying to buy into the passion, the big moment, his first big Easter Monday game. It was a tense game, and he knows straight after the match, I went a little bit too far, and he'll copy his whack, but he's not hurting the side, and you're touching on that, Lloydie, when we talk about Mac Andrew. When you hurt the side by giving up goals, which Bailey's not doing, it is a bit of a difference.
Was it a little bit too far on the Impey incident and the middle finger, or both?
I didn't see much.
So one or the other, yeah.
I didn't see much on the middle finger anyway. I don't get as offended as others do on it. I know we're role models and all that sort of stuff, but I didn't get as offended as others. But I have to agree with Lloydie. The point of difference he is for the Cats, especially in last quarters where the Cats need to get out of their back half, the run and drive. He's been exceptional. I think he surprised a lot of people too with his grunt work inside.
It's interesting to see how the week has played out since what happened in Gather Round and the infamous double bird. And it was at this very desk 6 days ago that the coach, Chris Scott, had his say.
We didn't need to impose ourselves too much on Bailey because he voluntarily said, oh, look, you know, time over again, I won't do it. Now, if he does that 7 times, we've got a huge problem.
Leave a little bit to be desired. There's Bailey Smith just responding.
So this is the book ending of round 5 in Gather Round, and this is today, the bookend, the last game of round 6 on this particular day. And both times the middle finger's thereabouts. Look, I cannot see a way that he has to answer that one. I understand
he probably gets a little fine, though, doesn't he? Given what happened to Harley Reid, what happened to him at Gather Round. They probably go back to the well with a fine, don't they?
They should acknowledge he probably changed his motion on the run, I reckon, Sam, on this one.
Oh, you think it was a bailout bird?
I reckon it was. Look, finding for the ball hit on Jarman Impey, but let him go on that one.
OK. Lordo and Jimmy, how did the rest of Bailey and Geelong play out today?
Well, it was a fascinating game through the midfield because I thought there was the running of Holmes and Bailey Smith, this man Bailey Smith. So where he was special was he broke the lines really well. So you got the power of Newcombe, the power of Warple versus the running power of these two, Holmes and Bailey Smith. So it was an amazing battle. I hope they play again in the final series.
Yeah, that run and drive off half-back, and when Geelong sets up defensively really well, you still need people to get you out of your back half, being a territory game, and those guys certainly did it extremely well, and their combination is working so well. And you touched on it, Lloydie, a number of times. It means you can keep Dangerfield forward, especially in big moments.
Yeah, he was outstanding. So I just think the line breaking is what they've lacked, and they recruit so well for needs, and they're a needs-based. Some teams just say, oh, there's a good player out there, we'll recruit them, but he's been exactly, Jimmy, what Geelong have needed this year.
Well, it was another Easter classic, and Hawthorn were super themselves, but Chris Scott flagged the way that the Cats wanted to play in the pre-game.
It will be a bit of a battle between Hawthorn sort of using the ball and kind of our defensive system. We think that's a key part of the game. They obviously value, you know, precise ball movement. So if we can put them under pressure in their sort of back half, I think we might have a chance. But if they've got no pressure on them, they'll just be too good with their foot skills. So it'd be an important part of the game.
Well, it was an important part of the game, and they certainly delivered on the coach's instructions. And this is what I love from Geelong and good sides. It's actually squeezing the opposition. You look here where before Sicily gets the ball, the outside is covered. That's what they call it, Geelong, covering the outside. So just over you there, Lloydie, a couple here. And what this does is it actually allows your free play to be really free and nowhere to go for James Sicily. You turn the footy over, you don't give him a chance to kickstart the game. Look up the field. They're already fought for the outside. So they've already got best position. And you watch here in the middle of the ground, the work rate. Watch this coming across. I think that's Bose who comes over, covered. You get turnovers. You play the front half game. And that's how you don't allow sides like Hawthorn to kickstart. It mightn't seem like the sexy one, that release one, but it absolutely stops them in their tracks.
Yeah, great vision. It was a wonderful game of football, and I think the difference was Geelong were cleaner than Hawthorn, and they just made basic errors, and because of that lack of outlet, Jimmy, you look at Ambrosio early in the game and he doesn't know where to kick the ball. Josh Ward panicked a number of times as well. This one here, Ward, he just wants to get it, but Geelong knew exactly what Hawthorn wanted to do with the footy, and that's the difference, where Hawthorn finished 6th last year to try and get to 4th. Top 4, then to try and get to a grand final, and then try to win one. Everyone goes to school on what you're doing, and Geelong certainly did that today.
And Lordo, James Sicily, he didn't have his best day. He's got plenty of brownie points, absolute star of the game, but sometimes when you're trying to keep breaking off one after another, it's just not your day.
No, and he went within himself into his shell, so James Sicily... kicking round corners, so whether you're James Sicily or you're a young kid watching, you just got to straighten your body, and James was kicking around his body far too much and was hurting his side as a result. So then you see there, the pressure builds on everyone, and unfortunately he didn't have a great day, so they sent him forward as well. But he just wasn't timing the footy, he wasn't clunking the footy, so he'll respond, but you could just see the nerves that got to him. That was the difference for me, Damo, of why Geelong won this game. They just handled the moments a little bit better, and why Hawthorn couldn't get their nose in front.
And they also chose to not get too worked up, Lordo, over what happened with Brian Myers. Now, Connor Nash, one of their main movers in the midfield, got errant here when he made this contact on Brian Myers, and I think it's significant, guys, that there was no demonstrating on him by Geelong players. Now, again, he will be facing match review office sanction. It could be 3, it could be 4 weeks. And Brian Myers on screen there will miss next week's game because of the concussion protocols attached to what happened today against Carlton. But, yeah, 3 to 4 weeks for Nash. But the Geelong players clearly felt it was an in-moment issue and not one that was worth fighting for.
Happy with that, boys? 3 or 4?
Voss got 3 weeks and Myers was worse off than Vlosten. So, yeah, it'd be 3 and up.
Yeah, very reckless. Yep, deserves that.
OK, great work, Jimmy and Lordy at the Plasma.